Hiya folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. So this time we're going to be looking at a 3-day match fishing tournament. Now I'm really excited about this because I've only fished one match in the last 6 months, and that was in, I think it was May, obviously due to COVID restrictions and flooding and so on and so forth. So as I say, pretty much raring to go for this one. Just a quick rundown on the event. I'll tell you more about the venue and the organisation a bit later on, but the event, as I say, a 3-day tournament. It's a team event, teams of 3. I'm with Mozza and Terry, we're the team Old Codgers, but it's also an individual event. Rules, well, there's no restrictive rules like you might find on commercials, as long as you're fishing to normal sort of UK rules. I suppose the only restriction is that you can't use artificial baits. But other than that, you can just pretty much do whatever it is you need to do. In terms of the way it works, as I say, you've got the overall team event, but individual-wise, there's prizes for each section, for each day, and also an individual prize, I believe, for the winner of each day. Obviously, the tournament winner has to win over the aggregated 3 days. And the way that works is that you're in sections of 10, and if you win the section with the biggest weight, you get 1 point. If you come 10th, you get 10 points. And so potentially, if you won your section on all 3 days, you'd have 3 points and you'd win the whole tournament. Slight proviso on that, if somebody else got 3 section wins over the 3 days and happened to catch an aggregated weight of fish more than yours, he'd win and you'd come second. But really, that's all there is to it, so let's get on with the fishing.
Hey folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. It's a bright and sunny, lovely morning. Today's day 1, and we start in literally the next few seconds, hopefully. Big open venue. You can probably see what you need to see from the camera, the GoPro, so I won't get the zoom camera out and pan all around. Some of the guys fished this in the week and had 0 fish or 1 fish. And to be honest, where I've drawn, I am not sure about. I don't like it. But as usual, I've got 7 or 8 feet on the pole line, straight underneath here. And then as I go out there to about 30 turns, I've got about 3 feet. So it obviously comes up like that. There's no major shelves. Oh, that's the all in. All in! Yeah, so better get started. I'm going to get some ground bait in first of all, as usual. I've got the big Boscher feeder on. The one that I made myself, so I'm a little bit behind at the moment. Get some bait in here and we'll crack on. I'll get out there and we'll get some feeding done. Just going to grab a handful of pellets, handful of corn, fill the feeder and get it out there. And I'm going to fish not to a line clip again today. I'm going to fish to that elastic that I tie on. And that seems to have worked well lately, so we'll go with that. Pick a marker on the far bank and off we go. It's not going to take long to sink. I'm going to put 6 of these in again just to see how that starts us off. Strike it off and follow the procedure. Okay, well, I've got my 6 balls in. I've changed to a slightly smaller feeder. But having said that, it's still a pretty large feeder, and we're going to go out and just try this for the first, I don't know, half, 3/4 an hour, maybe an hour, see how this goes. But the guys next to me are actually fishing with poles, so I want to see how they get on too. Obviously when you're match fishing, you need to sort of read what's going on about you. You don't want to be sticking on a method that doesn't work when everybody else is catching on something else. So we'll get this trimmed up, and hopefully we'll be able to report a bite in a minute. Quick update then, we're 45 minutes in and nobody on this section's had a bite yet, so kind of not going according to plan, but kind of going according to expectations. It's been really difficult along this section, so looks like it might be scratching around for bits and bobs unless they turn up later. We've had people fishing on the pole and on the feeder now, and certainly I haven't even had a touch, not a knock, not a nibble, not a nothing on the feeder. someone just down the bottom said, can't get a bite. So, yeah. I think that's the problem, you see, because we've had all this rain of late and everything's been in flood. The river, sorry, the lake, which is fed by a river, has been fairly horrible coloured, although it's starting to fall out a bit now. But we'll see. Let's get back onto it and see what happens. Well, I'm the end. Oh, it's fell off. I can't believe that. It fell off. I can't believe it. Oh, well. All right, back soon. GoPro, stop recording. I'm using this big homemade feeder that I mentioned before. And just in case you're wondering, £8 mainline, £6 bottom, 12 hook. 2 bits of corn. And certainly so far, that's 2 more bites than anybody else I've seen have. But that's no good to you, Den, because you've got to get fish in the net, not just get bites. Okay, so pull your finger out, Den. Let's get this show on the road. Casting out to 30 turns at the moment. That's where that sort of bank slopes up out there, same as on the practice day yesterday. And one point out there, it's probably a foot deep. Right. For anyone that missed the previous videos, I'm not clipping up today because the bites here can be absolute pull rounds and they wrench your rod in when you least expect it, literally out of nowhere. So I'm using that piece of elastic tied on the line with a slider knot, and I did a video on that, so I'll put that up on the screen now for you. Have a quick look at it so you can see what I'm doing. So, second update. We're an hour and a half in and nothing's changed. Nobody's caught a fish. I've lost that one, had an indication, but nope, nothing at all. Across on the other bank, Mark on the next peg to me, he's telling me that there's a guy over there probably had 10 fish already, so seems we were pretty much right about this stretch being barren. Still, plug on. GoPro, start recording. Well, I was actually messing around trying to sort out the camera and it pulled around like you wouldn't believe. Excuse me talking through my glasses, but I had them in my mouth while I was doing that. And as I say, you take your eyes off for a second. We're an hour and 3/4 in and this is the first fish that I may or may not get in. So Mark's on the phone there to his mate, and they're saying that it's not looking great at all on this side. Anyway, oh, now remember this was on bread, so give this another go before I go back on the pole. Decent enough fish too. Still not used to this clutch on this thing. Just using the back wind at the moment to sort it out. Just stay on, fish. If I get this one in, I'll be more than happy, because so far that would probably put me second in the section. Of course I want to be first, but we've got plenty of time yet. It's a 6-hour match. Okay, I'm just going to take my time with this. I'm not going to bully it at all. Too precious. I'll even slacken the clutch off a little bit. Mind you, there's only one click. And gotcha. We're in. Woo. Well done, Den. It's a decent fish too. I don't think martins are all that big. I'm not going to take them out and show you on this one, because the last thing I want to do is to lose one by just dropping it in, so I have to wait and see at the end. Right, well, we're back on the bread, and hopefully that's the start of many. You'll notice that I'm not holding the rod up high to try and gain line on it, because I don't need to with using this elastic on the line method. Right. I was actually trying to sort out the GoPro as well. It's amazing, isn't it? You stare at the tip all that time, and you just take your eyes off just for a second, and whammo, reel's going backwards. Still. GoPro, start recording. Well, that was only in for a few seconds. It's gone round and kept going, which was great. Hopefully this means they might have turned up. It's getting a bit desperate there for a while. No forcing these in today. I'm hoping that I'm catching a bigger stamp of fish than Martin, because this would make me a reasonable amount ahead of his too. Right, 2. We're in the ball game. Oh, it's only just hooked by a sliver of skin in the mouth. It was, if I'd really pulled on that, I'd have pulled out of it. Well, we're 2 hours in, and I've had those 2 fish. Martin's had 2 on the pole. I think I'm ahead of him. I think mine are bigger. Not sure, but I think they are. And I'm just going to try that closest in swim. Say it right then. Which is the top 2 plus 2 on the pole. I'm going to give it just a few minutes, and if I don't get a bite, I'll be back out on the tip again. It's worth having a fallback plan, but sometimes they don't always work. Let's get this out there. As I say, it's about 7 or 8 feet deep, literally at 3 meters out, so it's a good old depth out there. And then at 30 meters or 35 meters, you're looking at 2 feet. Crazy. If I do start to catch down here, I'll move the camcorder so you can see the bites, but no point in doing that just yet. It takes up too much time. That's alright, isn't it? Top 2 plus 2 just scored me a fish. It wasn't in all that long. I've got great big strong elastic on here. It's I think it's that 22 slick stuff. I'm still going to take my time with it. Alright. Let's see what we can do here then. Family of swans now. That's all I need. As long as they stay out of the way. Whoa! Circling around in front of me. Definitely not done just quite yet, is he? No, didn't think he was. Maybe this time. Yeah, you got him. Well, that's 3. Can't be bad. And the swans are looking on saying, "What are you doing, mate?" What you doing, Den? Trying to get you a decent shot, guys, and I could be missing fish, but I'll do my best for you. I was trying to get the camcorder down there just zoomed in correctly for you so you can see a good bite, but anyway. He doesn't want to give up, does he? This time. Oh, got the elastic stuck up there. Oh, we're stuck on. There we go. Don't think it's quite as big as the other ones, but I don't care. That's 5. Well, I've had those 3 and it's gone a bit quiet out there now, so I'm just going to put 3 balls of ground bait in and I'm going to go back on the feeder line for a while and start alternating between the 2, so that helps. I'm not hearing of anybody else catching, but I don't know at the moment, so we'll see. Oh yeah, he's got one up there on the pole, long pole by the look of it. So maybe they're starting to come on now. But anyway, back to the feeder. I'm going to put a couple of feeder falls in to kick it off again, and then go out there with a feeder fall just to see if we can catch one. I literally put it in and it went round. I fed, I think it was 2 or 3 feeder falls to start with, and literally cast in, and now I've got this nutcase on the end swimming towards me at the moment. Oh, good fun though, eh? Underneath me, but whether I can get to net him or not yet, debatable. He's hanging down deep down there, right underneath the rod tip. He's actually a decent fish. He's not one of those tiny ones that I thought he was at first. Still got some go in him. Yeah, we're getting there now. I think we maybe got one more surge out of him. And oops, thank you. Okay, 6. Well, I had that bite and that fish literally first put in just after resting this feeder line, and I've had literally nothing else. As you can see, I've got a cup of tea, usually works. I've had my sandwiches and nothing, so I'm going to give that up and I'm going to go back down onto the pole line again and see what we can come up with down there. If I can keep nicking a fish from here and there all the time, that'll do me today, because I don't think it's going to be a massive weight on this section. Finally, it's been a while since I had a bite. I think it must be coming up 2 o'clock now, which should probably give us about an hour and a half left. It's taken me a long time to get a bite off that pole side. Seems like nobody else is catching from what I can see down there, so that's quite good. A bit smaller, this one. Don't think he knew he was going to get netted there. Right, 8. GoPro, start recording. I think this is quite a small one, this one. Maybe not, maybe about the same size. He just decided to take off, look. Plowing through the baited area, which is what I didn't want. But that's okay. Yeah, getting a few drops of rain now. Oh, he's not as small as I first thought, actually. Yeah, rumbles of thunder in the background. Just hope it's a small shower, this one, rather than the main event. Oops, just for a second there I thought he'd come off. He obviously tipped over himself just like that, and I thought he'd come off. Oh, 14. Well, I'm definitely having a better day than I thought I was going to, guys. I really thought we were going to struggle when I was told that earlier in the week there was 1 fish and no fish caught off these 2 pegs. And a little purple patch, 2 or 3 together. Oof. Where's he off to? Whoa! He's off over there somewhere. I love this elastic. Yeah. 23. Yes, he's definitely one of the heavier ones today. Nice fish. Hello! Well, we got to the end of the match without the predicted thunderstorm, so that was handy. We also got to the end of the match with me having 23 fish, which was also very handy. I don't know what that's going to weigh, and it's going to take a while to weigh in, so what I'll do is I'll get that all sorted out. I'll get the results for you, and then tomorrow morning before the match I'll let you know how I got on and how others got on too. Hi folks, and welcome back to day 2 of the 3-day festival. So first of all then, results from yesterday, and it would appear that I won my section. I had 50 kilos, which is about 110 pounds of fish, which is the best news that we could have, because this is based on 3 days, and if you win your section on all 3 days, you're most likely to win the match, or the festival rather, and take off all the ill-gotten gains. I think I came 5th overall. Over on that section over there, there were a couple of weights that beat me, and there was one on the very end of this section that beat me. But the main thing is, we got the section win yesterday. If we can get a section win today, we're well set up. Having said that, this peg did reasonably well yesterday, but it wasn't the best. 70 odd kilos came from the end peg, and a second on this section was also the peg next to him. Anyway, we're going to do pretty much exactly the same thing as yesterday. So the whistle goes in a couple of minutes time, and when it does, I'm going to get some bait out with the big feeder as usual. Right, let's get on with it. Okay, that's the whistle just gone. Start. I'm going to put the big feeder fulls in again, just like yesterday. But I'm actually going a bit shorter today, so it's just about there. And the reason for that is that a metre or two past that it goes a lot shallower. A metre or two this way it comes deeper, but I'm trying to get a sort of an in-betweeny level. There's not that much sort of a slope, it's not like it's like that, it's more sort of gentle, but we'll see how we go with this. I'll get these next 5 balls in and we'll get cracking. We've got the first 5 balls in, so, or feederfuls in, and so this one will be the last of the initial feed. And then I'm going to feed the pole line today. Yesterday I didn't actually feed the pole line until a bit later, and that's where I caught the fish, so I'm going to do a bit of both today and see how that goes. If I can get them on the pole line, that'll mean I can have a good day. It's quicker. Right, that's the 6 in. I'm going to change the feeder to a smaller feeder, and once I've got that ground bait in and some pellets in on the pole line, I'm going to go out on that smaller feeder. Right, not fishing all that far out, but I am fishing further out than yesterday. But I am going to fish across to my right a bit, so that I'm not going to be bringing fish through. Got the ground bait. Try not to hit me T. 1, 2, 3. That one went a bit astray. I'll get some pellets in as well. I don't know if I can get those in by hand, but we'll try. Yep, that's looking okay too. A little bit of corn. And we'll just leave that there. This is all based on experiences of yesterday, and if I get it wrong I won't win the section, but do what you can, and what I can do is to get out on a feeder. We'll start off the session with that. Right, we're about 45 minutes in. I don't think anyone's caught anything yet. I'm just going to have a quick peek on the pole line, just on the off chance. Literally, just a very quick one. If there's nothing there, we're back out onto the feeder line again, and we'll keep alternating between them just to see how it goes. Be nice if they came on now, wouldn't it? Give me a lot more time to put a net full together. If you can hear a drum in the background, they've got dragon boats on here, and it looks like there's a sort of a dragon boat races or preparation for races going on today. No, I don't think it's ready to go yet, that one, so giving it 3 or 4 minutes. We'll come back to that as we need to later on. Hopefully the fish will turn up, but in the meantime let's get back out on the feeder. Well, that's an hour in, and Martin's just had his first fish, first proper bite. I've had no indications whatsoever, but based on yesterday, will it take an hour and a half for them to come in? Don't think any of the guys down there have caught anything, and I haven't seen anybody else catch anything up there, so looks like that one fish on this section at the moment. But this is a good section, and I've actually drawn quite a reasonable peg. I think I'm just having my first, just sort of a touch on the float. Not going under, and I still missed it when it did, but it's a bite. So, and nothing at all on the feeder. Let's maybe concentrate on this one a little bit. Had this yesterday as well. We had a period where the bites were really finicky and then they became really confident, but you do just have to let them develop, as I mentioned yesterday. Even then, that one did go under, but nothing there. But at least there's fish around. And yes, got it. And he's woken up. I thought for a minute I hit a rock. There's lots of them down there, but we're in anyway. need to just somehow avoid those rocks underneath me. There's lots of them along this sort of concreted area here. That's where they've done to stop erosion, I think. But it's not good when you're trying to bring fish in over the top of them. Oh, just over 8 feet of water where I'm fishing, but just down there where that is, it's not that deep at all. So clouds of muck coming up down there where he's I think he's foul hooked. That would explain it. Well, never mind. It's a fish, isn't it? Yes, I think I've either he's gone right. I don't know actually. Bear with me. Yeah, he's foul hooked in the fin, but it's still a decent fish. That'll do. There we are. I'm not going to show him, as I say, because if I slip up and drop him, that wouldn't be good. Right, we're on the board. That's the first fish. Hopefully, first of many. Second bite. Hopefully this one's not foul hooked. Doesn't feel like it's going to go off at any great rate, so I think it's probably just a normally hooked fish. Whoa! Or maybe not. Certainly got a tangle now, Dan. Oh God, caught round a keep there as well. GoPro, stop recording. Well, things definitely aren't going according to plan today. We're just over 2 hours in, and I've had one fish which was foul hooked. I had one other bite and that fell off, and then it just dried up. So I know everybody else isn't catching that much, but they've got more than me at the moment, which is not the plan. Not sure what to do next. It may just be a question of waiting and hoping, but this isn't looking good at the moment. I don't really think this one's all that big, but at least it was a bite. I've had to come off bottom to get it. Not telling the others. I've really had a desperate time this morning. I mean, here we are, about 2¼ hours in, and this is my second fish if I get it in. But I did foul hook one not long ago, and it made me wonder if it was because they were up in the water a little bit. So I've shallowed off by about 8 inches, so I'm off the bottom by probably 3 or 4 inches now. This one's off to the right. It's bigger than I first thought, actually. And that got me a bite, so I finally got my act together, and if I have, can I get a few fish? Let's see what happens. Got people behind me watching me. I think I'm going to try bread this time. I was on 2 bits of corn, but I don't know, I just feel that bread might just go a little bit better for the being off the bottom. Okay, got him. Oof. I did, yes.
What kind of fish is that?
That's a carp. Well, that's 2 fish anyway. Well, this is definitely not looking good today. We're 3 hours in, I've got 3 fish. Guys around me have got a bit more than me. Martin's now up to 5 fish with one decent sized one. Some of the guys down there aren't catching. It's from what should be a really good section, it's turning out to be a really poor section today. At this point, I'm nowhere near going to win this section, and it really is a bit of a toss-up as to what to do next. Can't get a bite on the feeder, get odd bites on the pole, but very difficult. And missed it. They hardly touch it. It's so difficult to catch it, to hit a bite today. Anyway, persevere, Den, persevere. I think it's time for a cup of tea and some lunch. Cheese and sauce sandwiches, of course. Okay, well, sorry folks, I've had a bit of technical difficulty with the old cameras and things, but I've actually just in this last 20 minutes started to put a few together. I'm up to 6 fish. I'm doing it on the pole. I'm catching off the bottom today. It took me a while to get to this point, but I've had 3 fish now in the last not very long, and fingers crossed. Well, definitely keep my fingers crossed. Been dreadful so far, really terrible. But if I can now, in this last, what, 2.5 hours or so, put a few into the net, I've got a good chance of doing well in this section. Fish are smaller than yesterday, apart from that last one, but I don't think you saw that. Oh, well, maybe you did, I can't remember. Oh, come on fish, stop messing around. What on earth? This is ridiculous. I've messed this up completely. Right, finally. What a klutz. And now the wind's got up, and because I'm off the bottom, I'm being pulled out of position, and now I've stopped getting bites. So I'm going to go back to full depth again and see what we can do. Don't know if this will work or not. The conditions always change on you, but always at the wrong time. Still, I've got 8 more fish than I expected to get after a couple of hours. Right. Quite difficult now. And this is literally in the last 5 minutes, out of nowhere. Sorry guys, I'm missing some of the action here because the phone won't connect to the GoPro for some reason. So the GoPro keeps turning itself off because it loses the connection, and then I end up not being able to record. So apologies for that, but it's causing me a bit of a headache. What did I say I was on last time? Was it 10? Or was it 9? I don't know, so we'll call this one 10. Just put it down to age. Okay, 10 then. They are smaller than yesterday though, so the weight won't be anywhere near as good, even if I got to 20, which I probably won't. Still having problems technically. I just told it to do its thing. Can't say the words because it'll stop doing its thing, and it decided not to listen to me again, so I hope we can get a decent amount of video out of this for you guys. Oh, he's off, look. Bigger than we first thought, that one. He's off out into the middle. I actually did see that bite. Don't know whether we're getting on the zoom camera here because it's so choppy. And that makes 13. I'm looking for some, as they say, but not for me today. Nice fish. Well guys, we've got about 10 minutes to go, and this wind's just got stronger and stronger and stronger, and it's made it more and more difficult to see bites. And didn't really do that one. I am still sort of catching. If I get this, it'll be 16, and later, once we've done the weigh-in where I'm at. What I mean for you, of course, is that you've got to wait till the next section of the video, which is tomorrow morning on day 3. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what we've got so far out of this video. Certainly had some technical issues today. Hopefully we can string something together and get a good story for you, and I'll let you watch this fish for a bit. Then after that, we'll probably have to shut it down this way. As I say, I think this is 16 fish, so it's a lot more than I actually expected to catch. Come on. 16. Hi folks, and welcome back to day 3 of the tournament. So, quick catch up then on yesterday's results. I weighed in about 75 pounds, give or take a few ounces. Came 4th overall, but that's not important. What is important, I won the section. So that means I only have 2 points. So today, if I win my section, technically I'll only have 3 points and I can't be beaten. Except Neil next to me has also won his section for the last 2 days. So we're both on the same number of points. And the problem for me is that he's actually caught a little bit more in weight on than me over the period. And what happens is, if we were both to win our sections today, then it would be on a count back for weight. But as I say, the good news is Neil's sitting next to me. So all I've got to do is beat Neil today. Of course, if we come 6th and 7th in our section, someone else who's on fairly low points could easily pip us at the post. So really, still got to win the section. If I do win the section, I'll beat Neil, and that means I'll win the tournament. So, fingers crossed, but as you can see, what a difference a day makes. The wind that got up yesterday, a bit worse today, got my coat on, it's quite cold, not expected to get too warm today at all. Luckily, the chop here isn't as bad at the moment, but I've actually got 2 rigs set up today. I had the 1.5 gram that I started with yesterday, but I've also got a 4 gram pole float set up just in case. I'll still be chucking out the feeder just to see how we go on that, and we'll alternate and see what comes up the best. But anyway, we've probably got about 5 minutes to go, so I'll just finish off getting my stuff ready, and we'll get back to you as soon as the whistle goes. On! Right, that's the whistle just gone. Standard tactics for here. Couple of bits of corn on a hair rig, size 14 hook, great big feeder. I'm just going to put the standard 6 balls out exactly as I've been doing all week. I've got a count of about 6 or 7 on the feeder, but on the bomb when I was checking it out, that was count of 4, so yeah, you're probably looking at 8-9 feet, exactly the same depth as before. Just strike off the bait and we'll get those feeder falls in. Okay, got the bait in on the pole line, changed to a slightly smaller feeder, although still fairly big, and let's have our first cast. That looks pretty good for the distance. I've got that little piece of elastic on again as usual. So let's see how we go. Okay, so we're half an hour in, and kind of pretty much as expected from the last couple of days. Nobody's had a bite yet as far as I can see. I can only see the anglers either side of me, and I know they haven't caught. I've been out on the tip. I've had another 4 or 5 casts just to keep bait going in, but it does seem to take a while to come on. So I noticed that Neil, my main competitor there, is back out on the pole. He's alternating between pole and feeder 2. I'm just going to give the pole a first quick go now, just in case the fish have turned up early. But if I'm honest, on the pole line, if I'm going to get them again, I think it's going to be a little bit longer, but it's worth a try just in case they've turned up early, and I can maximise the amount of bites I can get. Oh, GoPro start rigging. Bite first chuck. Well, that's good, isn't it? I've got lighter elastic on this one today. I've only got a 20 elastic. The 22's on the other rig, but I think 20 slick was probably good enough. Just hope there's no major snags down here. And that was pretty much instant, by the way. So if I can do that for the day, I'll be exceptionally happy. It's always nice to get your first fish in though, isn't it? And it looks like a mirror. It is a mirror, I think. Right, we're in, we're off. That's one. And you'll notice I've got my keep net on the other side. That's purely because the wind's making the current go that way, and the keep net was literally blowing to the left anyway. Right. Oh, hi. Yeah.
Oh my god. I didn't think that there's nothing there.
Oh, there's plenty of fish in here.
Oh my god, Brian, have a look there.
Here we are, look.
Oh gosh.
What species are they?
They're carp, mate. So, that's the first one of the day.
Oh really?
Yeah, sorry, you're on YouTube at the moment. Don't worry. Your face isn't, but your voice is. Thank you, bye. Well, good start. Drew the crowd immediately. Got that flicked around. Right, well, can't argue with that, can you? That's a brilliant start. Just got to keep them coming. Last couple of days I've literally not been able to get them for hours really, but I'll just keep them coming then. You got a chance. Yeah, I see Neil's doing something similar to me and he's staring at me. He must have seen the crowd. I don't know if you can see this, guys. It's nothing to do with fishing, but just down there in front of me, those two grey things, that's a lady's bra. Not the normal thing I've seen when I'm fishing. By the way, I had that one fish and I haven't had another bite. I've even had to go to the 4-gram float to try and hold against the flow now. But that's all right. There's still plenty of time. Okay, second bite. Taking a little bit of time, but that's all right. You notice I'm doing this right-handed. It's because I want to watch him as well. Took a while to get that bite actually, but that's okay. The trouble with where I'm at today is that there's a very popular footpath right behind me, and I'm going to get talked to by people going by who are curious as to what I'm catching, as you just saw from that first fish. Something you have to bear in mind, but it's no great hardship. It's just that the questions are always the same. Not such a big fish this time. Oops, where's he gone? Two. It seems that every fish, it weighs the equivalent of 4 pounds or thereabouts. I mean, obviously some are smaller and some are bigger, but for the past couple of days 23 fish weighed 50 kilos and 16 fish weighed 34 kilos, so the average is about 2 kilos. And you're wondering why I'm talking about kilos, because it just makes it easier to explain. Well, we're an hour and a half in, it's 11 o'clock, and I've still just got the 2 fish. Neil isn't catching by the look of it. He may have had one, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but he's just gone out on the feeder. So he's given the pole up for now, which is good news, because if he's given it up, it means he's not catching on it. So that's where we're at, and just hope I can get these fish to just turn up soon. Well, still struggling. I've been out on the feeder just to check that, and I'm just going back out on the pole again now. We are an hour and 20, sorry, nearly 2 hours in, sorry. Not seeing anybody else catching, and Neil next to me still messing around between the pole and the feeder, and he's not doing any good either, so that's something. It just depends on what others are doing in the other sections, because they still could catch us up. Just finished recording that segment for you, and changed to the light float again, and it went under. The wind's just slowed down just a little bit, just enough to make it a bit easier for me. And I'm not quite sure what this is. It's a very strange fight. Oh, it is a carp. It's a tiny carp, but it's a carp. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth then. It's probably the smallest carp I've caught, but hey, we'll keep Neil guessing. Right, 3. Well, there's one, there's hopefully more. So we'll carry on with the lighter rig again. I have to clean my glasses, they're all covered in water. You eating your sandwiches, haven't had a bite in the ages, and a float goes under, which is fine, but this is going off at a rate of knots, and this is on that 22 elastic. Just need to turn him somehow. It's either foul hooked or a good fish, and I don't know which. Heading for the hills though. Just fingers crossed, get him in. Come on, fish. Just stay on. It's at times like this you think, oh my god, it's going to fall off. And when you think that, they usually do. So don't think that then. Here we are. Oh, he's not as big as I thought, but he's fine by me. Come on, fish. It's in his mouth as well, so he wasn't foul hooked. Conditions are really quite difficult today. Well, there we go, 4. I still think Neil's only got 2, but I could have missed some. But this will go a long way to helping to and dress the balance. Uh-oh, that's another fish for Neil, so that'll be 4 at least. If he's got them coming, I'm in trouble here because I'm not getting a bite. Alright, we've got an hour and 3/4 left. I've still got 8 fish, but the good news is that Neil next door, I don't think, is catching either. So just a question to see if we can put a few more in to the net. If I could get to 13 or 14 fish, I'd be pretty happy today. But the wind's definitely getting stronger. We've got all foam down here. I don't know if you can see all that. So it's been kicked up against the wall. So I'm trying to get decent presentation, but that's very difficult at the moment. And I just can't get a wrap on the feeder, so I'm going to have to stick it out on this. Oh, he's off out of that. Oh, slow down, fish. Whoa, don't go there. Oh, damn. That would have been 11. But he took off and couldn't take the hook, just came off. Right, the arthritis is giving me a bit of a jip now as well, so I'm going to struggle through that. But I know I won't get any sympathy, so I won't play on that one. It's an hour to go, and as I say, still on 10 fish. That would have been worth its weight in gold nearly. Well, it's 2 or 3 bites in 2 or 3 casts. He's off up the river, well, up the pond. Whoa, he's a long way off. I don't know if we're going to get this guy. Whoa, he's right up the bank. Coming back. Woof. Stop that first run. Got a good chance. Not actually all that big either. 13. I did say earlier on I'd be happy if I got 13 today, but I'm not, so I lied. I want more. It's going to help with the weight though. If I can keep them still enough for long enough to get the hook out. Oh, somebody found some more power. I'm going to give him some elastic back. Right. Well, we're getting close fish shot here. Going to carry on. Oh, he's a nice fish. Haven't had anything massive in all 3 days, but the general standard of fish has been pretty reasonable for match fishing. It's pretty much perfect when you've got sort of 4-pound fish mostly, or averaging. Some smaller obviously, 1 or 2 bigger. $14. Whoa. Just about got time for one more. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's made the weight up a bit. Alright, keep still. Don't know how much of this I've got on that camcorder down there. I just looked down, it gave me some technical error message, so not quite sure what's going on with that. Let's Still, I'll worry about that when we come to do the editing. Yeah, float's all tangled up there. Well, that's the end of the match, guys, and I've got 14 fish, which, just shout all out, yeah, 14 fish, which is quite good for this section. It hasn't produced that many fish for both days prior to this, so really I've just got to wait to see if I beat Neil and hopefully come somewhere decent in the section, and all being well, I've got a chance. Again, a lot depends on how others have done, but I won't know that until I get the results and after we've done the weigh-in. So for you, back in a second. For me, I'll wait and get the results tonight.
Okay, and the winner,
I can send it to you,
with 4 points and 108 kilos 600,
Need to.
Dennis Saunders.
So that turned out pretty well in the end, didn't it? I have to say, I'm really pleased with the way things went. As you saw, I had 2 section wins on the first 2 days, and on the 3rd day, I came second in the section. One of the other guys, Mark, beat the living daylights out of me on weight, but he wasn't actually in contention for the overall match. The good news was I beat Neil next door, and that's what clinched it for me. With coming second on that day, 2 firsts and a second, couldn't really be beaten, so really pleased. Now, I was actually saying right at the start that I'd be telling you a bit more about the venue. Now, the venue is actually Lake Burley Griffin in Canberra, Australia. And for those of you that don't watch my channel regularly, you may be a bit surprised because you might have thought it was in England. Now, it's a big old lake. It's something like 11 kilometers or 7 miles long. It's not necessarily all that deep, but it is full of carp. And it was organised, this whole tournament was organised by the AFCAA, which is the Australian Federation of Coarse Angling Associations. So if you do happen to live in Australia and you want to start match fishing, get in touch with the guys at afcaa.net. Speak to the guys there and they'll put you in touch with a club in your local area. The AFCAA is the umbrella organisation, and of course there are clubs throughout Australia, including in Sydney and in Melbourne. So as I say, we had a great time. Thanks to you guys for organising it, and I hope you guys that are watching enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, click the button. If you want to subscribe, feel free to do that too. And until the next time, bye for now.